Have you ever wondered if the Bible ever mentions a country in Asia? A place full of vibrant life, deep faith, and hidden strength? A nation made up of over 7,000 islands, rising from the vast ocean, the Philippines. Could it be possible that the Bible, written thousands of years ago, holds clues about this distant land? Could ancient prophecies be whispering about the Philippines' future? What you're about to hear might surprise you, because what if, just what if, the future of the Philippines has already been written in mysterious prophetic words? Part 1. The Mysterious Beginning. Imagine a land surrounded by sea, rich in beauty, natural resources, and spiritual hunger. But more than that, imagine a land that seems to carry an invisible power within it, a strength that comes alive, especially in times of trouble. We're talking about the Philippines, a nation that has faced colonizers, calamities, and conflicts, but still stands strong, always rising back, often stronger than before. But here's the real mystery. Could the Bible or other ancient sacred writings have spoken about this very land? In old prophecies and whispered legends, there are mentions of a chosen land, a land swept away by storms, yet destined to rise like a gem shining in the darkness. Doesn't that sound eerily familiar? Could this be describing the Philippines? A country hit by some of the most powerful typhoons in history. A people who, despite it all, continue to hope, rebuild, and pray. The Bible often uses symbols and metaphors to describe nations and times yet to come. In the book of Revelation, we read of cosmic signs, rising kingdoms, and dramatic change. In Revelation 6:13, it says, "And the stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree casts its untimely figs when shaken by a mighty wind." This could easily be seen as a picture of political chaos, natural disasters, or even spiritual awakening. Could this be pointing to regions like the Philippines, a country that has lived through all of that? The Bible doesn't give direct names like Philippines, but many believe the islands of the sea mentioned in prophecy could include Southeast Asian nations. Is this a stretch or a hidden truth waiting to be uncovered? From a spiritual point of view, the Philippines has always had a deep connection with faith. Even during times of war, occupation, and poverty, Filipinos held on to God's word. They prayed, they worshiped, they believed. When Typhoon Haiyan struck in 2013, one of the strongest storms ever recorded, the world saw destruction. But in the ruins, they also saw faith. People gathered in churches, sang hymns, and helped one another. They rebuilt their homes and their spirits, brick by brick, prayer by prayer. Is this not the image of a chosen nation, a people of unshakable hope? And now we look at the Philippines today, an emerging powerhouse in technology, tourism, and business. A nation that continues to rise despite every setback. Could this be more than progress? Could it be prophecy unfolding? The Bible speaks of a time when those who survive will be given glory, and that sounds a lot like the story of this island nation. But still, we must ask, are these just coincidences, or are they signs? Could this nation truly be stepping into a destiny that was written long ago? Part 2, a bright future or tumultuous times. As we look toward the future, the big question remains, what lies ahead for the Philippines? Is it a future of blessing, full of hope and opportunity, or a path filled with challenges that will test the very soul of the nation? Right now, the country is booming, growing fast in economics, innovation, and influence. But with great rise often comes great responsibility and greater trials. So what does the Bible suggest? Will this be a time of rebirth, a spiritual awakening across the islands, or a season of refining where storms once again test the faith of the people? One thing is certain, the Philippines has something special, and whether by prophecy or perseverance, this nation continues to rise, not just in the eyes of the world, but perhaps in the eyes of God. So the question we're left with is this: has the future of the Philippines already been foretold? And if it has, what will you do with that knowledge? Will you watch from afar, or become a part of a nation stepping into its divine destiny? Stay tuned as we continue this journey into prophecy, purpose, and the powerful role of the Philippines in God's unfolding story. Part 2, A Nation at the Crossroads, Prophecy, Crisis, and Hope. There's a powerful verse in Isaiah 60, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Could this verse be more than just a poetic promise? Could it be a message for a nation in the East? A place once hidden in darkness, now stepping into the light? Could these ancient words describe the Philippines? A nation scarred by struggle but glowing with promise, a land that has survived colonization, war, and nature's worst fury, yet now walks boldly toward progress, growing in economy, technology, and influence. Could the Philippines become the new center of Southeast Asia, a rising kingdom foretold in prophecy, where storms once brought destruction, but now bring light, wealth, and wisdom? But let's pause here. Will everything be smooth from here on out? No nation rises without trials, and the Philippines is no exception. Its history is marked by some of the fiercest storms on record, by terrifying earthquakes and political shakeups that rocked its people. In Matthew 24:7, Jesus gives a chilling warning. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. Could this verse be describing a nation like the Philippines? A country that sits on the ring of fire. A region where earthquakes are expected and storms are constant. Are these merely natural events, or are they signs, prophetic markers of a bigger plan? Because here's something interesting. The Bible often follows tragedy with revival. Every time a disaster strikes in Scripture, there's a promise of rebirth just behind it. So, could the Philippines be heading toward a moment of transformation? A painful breaking before a powerful breakthrough? Now let's talk about leadership. Throughout the Bible, when a nation faced turmoil, God raised up a leader, a deliverer, a voice, like Moses, who led the Israelites from slavery into freedom, or David, who turned a scattered kingdom into a strong and righteous land. Could the Philippines be waiting for such a leader? Isaiah 32:1-2 says, A king will reign in righteousness, and rulers will rule with justice. Is the Philippines on the verge of such a turning point? Will someone rise who can guide this nation out of confusion and into clarity, justice, and renewal? Who will stand up against corruption, bring unity, and spark a revival of faith and purpose across the islands? We don't know yet, but the hope remains. Part 3, Trials Before Triumph. A nation tested. Yes, every country faces hardships, but for the Philippines, the challenges seem relentless. Storms, floods, earthquakes. These aren't occasional events. They're yearly realities. And not just any storms, some of the strongest the world has ever seen. Remember Yolanda? Haiyan? They didn't just destroy cities, they broke hearts, uprooted lives, and left scars across the land. And yet, the people rebuilt. They prayed. They helped each other. They moved forward, step by step, day by day. Could these trials be the same ones spoken of in Scripture? Amos 1:2 gives this image. The Lord will roar from Zion, and the pastures will dry up. It's a terrifying vision, but it also signals a time when people wake up, reevaluate what truly matters, and return to God. But the challenges aren't just natural. There are also deep political wounds. From uprisings to dictatorship, from corruption scandals to public unrest, the Philippines has faced battles within as much as battles from nature. Even today, inequality, mistrust, and power struggles still echo across the islands. And the people, especially the young, are asking, where is the change? Where is the justice? Perhaps like the Israel of old, the Philippines is moving through a wilderness, a time of testing that prepares the people for a better future. And so we ask again, is this the breaking point or the breakthrough, the final storm, or the beginning of something greater? Prophecy reminds us, after the night, there's always dawn. After the weeping, joy comes in the morning. Maybe, just maybe, the Philippines is on the edge of something extraordinary, not just in the eyes of the world, but in the divine script written long ago. Part 4, The Philippines, a mysterious story of a new age. There's a powerful verse in the Bible that says, You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Matthew 24, the 6 to 7. It's a haunting message, and yet strangely comforting. Could this be speaking directly to us, to the world today, and even more? Could it be pointing to a nation like the Philippines? This country, so full of life and beauty, is no stranger to war, political struggles, and unrest. For decades, we've seen the clash of factions, protests in the streets, divisions between rich and poor, corruption that seeps deep into the system. But what if all of this, yes, all the tension, the chaos, the drama, was already part of a divine plan, a script written long ago in the pages of prophecy, the fall and rise of empires, the collapse of systems, the birth of something new? But politics isn't the only storm the Philippines is weathering. There's another battle, an invisible one, happening in the realm of economics. Unemployment rises, debt climbs higher, prices change overnight, and families across the country feel the burden tightening around them. Could this be the kind of shaking the Bible talks about? Once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. Hebrews 12:27. Are we in a time where the old economic systems are crumbling, not just here, but around the globe, and something entirely new is being prepared? Could this financial chaos be the trial before transformation? Maybe, just maybe. This is not the end, but the price that must be paid before a national rebirth. In the book of Revelation, it is written, "When everything falls apart, a new world will be built." It's a powerful image, and perhaps it's exactly what's unfolding in the Philippines. From ashes, something greater may rise, not built on fear or corruption, but on unity, justice, and truth. Because when we look at the Filipino people, we don't just see survival. We see something deeper: resilience, heart, brotherhood. Time and time again, the Philippines is knocked down by earthquakes, typhoons, crises. And every time people rise from the rubble, they help their neighbors. They share what little they have. They pray. They rebuild. Could this unyielding spirit be a sign that no matter how deep the darkness, the light will always return? That even now, the Philippines stands on the edge of something miraculous? Part 5. The dawning of a new era. Now we ask the deeper question, could the Philippines truly be entering a new age? One marked not just by recovery, but revelation? Throughout history, there are moments when the world changes forever, when old ways die and new ways are born. Could we be standing at such a threshold right now? The Philippines is a land of natural wonders, but also of strange and powerful signs. Volcanoes that erupt without warning, oceans that rise up in giant waves, skies that darken as if creation itself is speaking. In Matthew 24:29 we read, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky." Could these be metaphors for a deeper shaking happening in the soul of the nation? Could it mean that old systems are dying and new values, truth, compassion, integrity, are waiting to rise? And in times of change, the world needs leaders, not just politicians, but visionaries, peacemakers, truth tellers. The Bible speaks of new kings who will rise in righteousness. Could the Philippines soon see leaders of light? People who don't chase power, but guide with wisdom, who don't divide, but heal. Leaders who can restore trust, leaders who listen, leaders who love. Could these be the long-foretold figures who bring the Philippines into its greatest chapter yet? But there's more to this transformation than politics or prophecy. We're living in a time of incredible technological change. Smart cities are rising. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing business. Solar power, clean energy, digital medicine, online education. The world is becoming faster, smarter, and more connected. And the Philippines is not being left behind. Young innovators are creating apps that solve real problems. New tech hubs are growing across Manila, Cebu, Davao. A wave of change is coming. Could this be the next great chapter in prophecy? Seal the words of the scroll until the time of the end. Many will go here and there to increase knowledge. Daniel 12:4. Could this increase of knowledge be what we are seeing today? Could artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and digital transformation be tools, not just for comfort, but for revival? Maybe this isn't just progress. Maybe it's purpose. So now we must ask, will the Philippines be ready? Will it rise from the storms, natural, political, economic, and become the bright star of Asia? Will it embrace its role as a nation not forgotten, but foretold? Could this be the time when destiny meets decision? The answers may not be found in textbooks or headlines, but perhaps they've already been written, in prophecy, waiting for us to see them and believe. Part 5. The Philippines, a nation on the edge of transformation. As we move further into this powerful story, one thing becomes more and more clear. The true transformation of the Philippines won't come only from technology or leadership. It will come from the Filipino people themselves. The strength, resilience, and heart of this nation have always come from within, not from outside help, not from systems or structures, but from the spirit of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. In a world filled with conflict and division, could the Philippines become a pioneer of peace? They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. Micah 4:3. Could this verse be pointing to a possible future? A Philippines where violence is replaced with unity, where fighting gives way to collaboration, and where communities come together to build something lasting and just? We've already seen the trials, natural disasters, political instability, economic storms, but we've also seen something else: signs of awakening, signs of change, signs of hope. So now comes the final question. Can the Philippines truly rise as a nation of the new age? Or will it continue to struggle under the weight of crisis? The answer may not be written in headlines or in history books. It may be written in the quiet acts of kindness, in the courage of people refusing to give up, in the small sparks that lead to something greater, because this story, the story of the Philippines, is not over. In fact, it's only just beginning. Part 6. Parallels between the Bible and Philippine history. When we look back at the long and complicated journey of the Philippines, we see something surprising. Not just a list of wars or elections, not just leaders rising and falling, but a pattern, a strange parallel between the pages of the Bible and the path of this nation. Could these events be more than just history? Could they be echoes of ancient prophecy? At the end of the 19th century, the Philippines fought for its freedom from the Spanish Empire, then again from the United States. It was a time of bloodshed, revolution, and sacrifice. Heroes like Jose Rizal gave their lives, not for personal glory, but for the dream of freedom. It reminds us of the Israelites in the Bible, fighting to reclaim their promised land. It was painful, it was uncertain, but they believed they were chosen. And maybe the same belief lives in the hearts of Filipinos today. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. In the 1970s, another dark chapter unfolded: martial law. People were silenced. Freedoms were stripped away. Fear ruled the streets. But as in every Bible story of oppression, the people did not remain silent forever. They rose, they marched, they prayed, and eventually they won back their freedom. Just as David faced Goliath, so did the Filipino people face down an overwhelming force. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. 2 Samuel 22:2-3. That same spirit of unity and courage sparked democratic uprisings, and in doing so, it echoed the ancient victories written in the Bible. Then came the early 2000s. The economy faltered, debt ballooned, families suffered. But then something started to change: new investments, reforms, a slow but steady movement toward hope. Could this be a reflection of another biblical promise? I will make you more prosperous than before. Your cities will be rebuilt. Ezekiel 36:11. It's as if, after every fall, there's a hidden promise, a chance to rebuild. So now, let's look at the big picture. From wars for independence, to resistance against tyranny, to economic rebirth, the Philippines has walked a path that mirrors the Bible's great stories. It has known suffering, it has known struggle, but it also knows hope, and that may be the most powerful thing of all. Despite every setback, Filipinos have never given up. They keep moving, they keep believing, they keep rising. Could it be that this is the true spirit of prophecy? So here's the question. Are the events of Philippine history just coincidence, or are they part of a much greater plan? A divine script slowly revealing itself, one act at a time. Could the prophecies written thousands of years ago actually be guiding the Philippines through its own spiritual journey? We may not know for sure. Not today, not yet. But as time unfolds, the answers will come. Until then, all we can do is stay awake, watch the signs, keep our faith, and hold on to hope. Because in the end, it's not about how the story started, it's about how it ends. So what do you think? Are we living in the middle of prophecy? Are we watching history repeat itself with a purpose? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to follow more powerful and mysterious stories from history, faith, and prophecy. The past is already written. The present is unfolding. But the future is still in our hands. Thank you for watching.